Good morning and welcome live. Joella, welcome and welcome to Tuesday morning, Tuesday the 30th of March. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. I know it's going to be a sunny day. I mean, how amazing is that?
It is going to be a beautiful day here as well on the South Coast. So welcome to everybody. We are live here. This is normally Joella and I do a Friday coffee with Antony and Joella, where we talk about branding, self-awareness and all that sort of stuff. Joella is an executive coach, but I'll let her introduce you there. I'm a recruiter, salesperson. I run recruitment businesses and recruitment teams across financial services and compliance and financial crime. And what we have decided, Joella is a friend of mine. We have quite a lot of conversation together. I think she's absolutely fantastic. What we've decided to do today is to do a live coaching session, or a series of 4 coaching sessions, because I want to make sure that I get as much coaching as I can for free through the process. But Joella is lovely, has been absolutely fantastic, and has offered. So what we're going to do is, this is going to be a slightly different dynamic to normal. I normally talk and other people sort of follow, and I lead it, but I'm going to hand the reins over to Joella. Joella, please introduce yourself. And then what we're going to do today is, very simply, we're going to find the question, or I'll let you just go from there, if that's all right, Joella.
Yeah.
Forgive me for sounding like Dot Cotton off of EastEnders. I still in this way, unfortunately, but hopefully with the warmer weather, I'll start to feel a little bit better. But this, I'll just have to say, guys, this is live. If you do comment live, not all the time it comes up on a system, but hopefully it comes up, and then we will try to answer that in the meantime as well. But I'll hand the reins over to Joella. I will be the loyal subject here, and I look forward to it.
Okay, great. So, the aim of today, as you've mentioned, is to get to a point where we know what question it is we want to answer. Before I go into that, I should introduce myself, shouldn't I? I'm Joella Bruckshaw. I'm an executive coach. I work with senior leaders, directors, boards, chairs, and help them to get the results that they want.
You mean like ironing boards and coffee tables and chairs and stuff?
Well, I do the ironing boards and coffee tables later, after the session. Okay.
You just tell me to shut up, Joe, and I find it really hard not to interject, but sorry, carry on.
I know you do. But hey, we've all got our challenges.
Yours is me.
Right now, I'd say that's probably about right. Okay, yeah. So the intention of the session is to sort of start at the beginning with the chemistry session, which is really, it's where a coach meets a potential client to find out more about their business challenge that they're facing and answer questions. So both sides can decide whether they want to work together. So it may be that at the end of the session you think, yeah, don't really want to work with her, which is fair enough.
I wouldn't have put you on this platform through this way if I didn't already think that I know that you'll be able to help me out.
Well, indeed.
This has got a 2-pronged benefit. Hopefully this gets people to understand what you can do and what your experiences are and so on and so forth. This gives me an opportunity to iron out some kinks along the way, but it also gives the people that are watching this an idea to see whether they should have some coaching, because we believe that people should if they want to benefit and get career advice and so on, right?
Absolutely. But one of the things about a coaching session is that it's really about being in the present and finding out what there is to find out. So you can never assume an outcome before it's actually happened. And in order to, with every client, especially if I'm meeting them for the first time, the first thing I want to do with them is some kind of contracting. And normally with coaching, it's, one of the first things you say to people when you're coach going to coach them is to talk about confidentiality. This actually, I think
this blows it out of the water, is what you're trying to say.
Yes, I mean, normally people will feel safer if they're talking to you if they know that what they say isn't going to go any further than that room. But that's not actually the case right now. And I want to just, but I do want to still pay attention to it, because the point of contracting is that people should feel safe in a coaching session. And the chemistry session is really about the point at which you begin to build trust with someone. You need to know that they're not going to sort of go, gossiping about you, or just not treating you with respect. So the contracting is very important. I was thinking about this before we came on, and I was thinking, well, what if Antony suddenly, as a result of the questions I'm asking him, actually realizes there's something he'd rather not share with thousands of people. And so I thought, well, maybe we should have some sort of indicator where you say, actually, I don't want to go into that, or you put your hand up, or you scratch your ear, or something, so that I can, as a coach, keep you safe. Because one of the jobs of the coach is to ask you the questions you maybe haven't dared to ask yourself, or that you've been avoiding answering. So what would you like to have as a sort of signal to me not to go pushing any further?
I don't know. I think the thing is, Joella, with this is it's really confusing, because I've got two lady friends who are, one's called Joella, one's called Joella. So sometimes I'll call you Joella, sometimes I call Joella. So
yeah, I know.
Joella and Joella. It's confusing. But if I thought that you were going to make this uncomfortable for me, I certainly wouldn't be sat here going through this. I've got 100% confidence in you and what we're going to do here. But also, I am me. I do my videos as me. I do the daily bake as me. This is not me putting on a front. When I walk away from my office into my house, there is no difference between what the people that see from me, which that honesty and I want the people to know me and understand me. I want people to actually feel comfortable, because what I do as a job, I take very seriously. Changing people's careers, changing people's lives, improving their life, improving their careers, getting them hopefully something that's better than what they have. I take extremely, extremely seriously.
Well, I get that you do, Antony, and that we have to remember that if you're going to show people about coaching, then that is something that they need to understand, that actually coaches do ask difficult questions, and I
will just say, Joella, not going to answer that. And
okay,
and I will do, because
that's fine. That's all I wanted to check, Antony. We can move on.
Yeah. I've also been to the dentist this morning as well. So if I start dribbling, it's because I've had some work done on the side of my face.
Well, that's helpful insider information. Thank you. So let's. I'm going to ask you the next question, which is that if the coaching relationship had been really outstanding for you and you've got brilliant results, how would you know? What would be happening that isn't happening now?
I think I'm fairly clear about my KPIs of what I want to achieve a day. The first thing that I do in the morning is write a list of what I want to try to achieve that day, look at my list I had yesterday, add that to it, and come up with a bit of a timeline. I was talking to John actually about this morning. I said, if I don't have a timeline, if I just have a long list, I don't do any of it. If I have a timeline based on that list of what I expect to achieve, then I will get to it. So I think for me, I'm very clear on what I can achieve as a recruiter.
But you're not answered the question, which is, how would you know that the work we had done together had been of great value to you?
I think really clearly I would achieve more through my day. I mean, that would be pretty much the end of it, because it's not always about numbers in my business. It would just be
okay. So what would be happening that isn't happening now that would tell you that you had achieved more through your day?
I would say that I sometimes spend too much time on stuff that's not necessarily the right thing for me to spend time on. I spend maybe a bit too long talking to people about stuff that's maybe not relevant, or maybe I'll have long-term gain, but not necessarily so much of a short-term.
So you'd spend more time on the things that are important, the priorities. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I'd get the priorities done and out of the way quicker.
Right. Okay. So, do you have a sense right now of what the priorities are?
So I have my priorities in my life or in work.
I'm just trying to get at how you would know that you'd met your priorities.
We have there's like a list of things. As a recruiter, there's a list of projects, if you like, let's call them projects, that you would do a week. Yep. So from Monday to Friday, I would normally set up in a way that I've got the jobs that are important that need to be filled. I've got candidates that I want to reach out to get in touch with me. I've got to build a warm bench for Lysis, for the group. I've then got to work with those candidates that I'm talking to on consistently. And then I've got to get them out into the marketplace. They have like a priority list that I very rarely get through all the way through to the end of my priority list.
So is it more that the challenge is setting a realistic set of priorities that you can actually achieve in the time?
I would say that it's probably, I because I love the people that I work with and for, and the candidates and the clients. I want to make sure that I'm being a bit more realistic with delivery, because I'm one person. We talked about this before as well. I sometimes find it difficult to get other people that work for me to do jobs that I know that maybe I could do quicker, or maybe perform at slightly higher, maybe slightly better. So I find that as something that I'd like to be able to be consistent and work with as well.
Okay, so then so would you say that, I mean, if we set down as a coaching goal for you that by the end of the time that we work together, you would be able to write at the beginning of the day a realistic list of priorities that you could actually achieve?
Yeah, and I think that would be, I think that would be, that would be great.
Okay, great. So we have an outcome, and if we look at that outcome, well, that sounds pretty straightforward. But I guess if that's not happening right now, then there'll be something that gets in the way, which may be hopefully be what we would be looking at. So just as we've got a little bit of time, so do you have a sense of what it is that stops you?
I do quite a lot in a day, probably a fair bit more than most. I try to fill a lot into my day. I've quite a lot of people coming at me asking me for things to do. The company, candidates, clients. I get 100 to 120 CVs or connections or people contacting me a day, just candidates, saying, can you do this? Can you help me with this? Can you do this? Can you help me with this? I have Mo that does a fair amount of that, but there's a lot of people that because of all the stuff that I do, want to talk to me. So because of this thing, like these things, I get a lot of inbound. So I get a lot of people coming to me saying, Antony, can you please do this? Can you please help me with this? Unfortunately, there's probably 10%, I would say, of the people that I talk to that I can actually help. Another thing that I would potentially like to look at is and growth is something that is important as well. But looking at and I've been a bit more, and I've found myself more recently being more like, if I put a post out, I'm very direct on that post of what I want to receive back, rather than it being quite, because a lot of recruiters will put something out and they'll go, there's a job in London, we're looking for KYC people, send your CVs, and they get 20 CVs. Well, if I put really specific on what I want it, I get 100 applications within 10 minutes. And that's so because of the better we are at doing what we do, the more work that creates for us, and it's tailoring that in a way that is, because I really like the people I work with, so I really don't want to annoy anybody, but it's kind of inevitable, if that makes sense.
Okay, so you would like to be able to. Part of the issue is that you find that you are a work generator, that you generate a huge amount of work, and that you then feel obliged to deal with it all.
Yeah, so my current circumstances means that whatever I generate, I do myself. So that there is quite a lot of that everything that I do, because of the amount of inbound stuff again that I get, that there's a lot of pressure, not pressure really, because it sort of doesn't really stress me out, but there's a lot of things that I need to try to get through.
Okay, so you're sort of a victim of your own success.
Yeah, I mean, for the sake of the fact that we're live right now, I don't want it to people to think that I don't want them to contact me and so on and so forth. But because that's how we have business, I think moving forward from here, as the world gets back to normality and we can build a bit more of a team and we can build and grow with that, I want to make sure that I'm in the right place to be able to give a piece of what I've. It's like building a sandcastle and then someone at a sort of castle and someone going, well, I want that piece, and me going, well, you can live in there and I'll sort of help you out, or going, no, I want the whole thing to myself. I kind of feel that I want to be able to make sure that I can delegate and give more things out to people, which I kind of can, but with a bit more confidence.
Okay, right. So then the delegation comes into it too. It's not just that you want to be managing it's not just about the way that you personally manage the incoming generation of leads and all the things that happen and that you cause to happen just because of the way that you do the job. It's to develop ways of knowing of knowing how to delegate and actually delegating. Is that fair?
For example, I start work about 5:30 in the morning. I usually have an hour or two during the day with my family and the kids, making dinner and stuff. I then go back to work until 8:00, and I do that 6 days a week. And then on the 7th day, I'm still talking to people, messaging people, making sure that all the stuff that I didn't necessarily get up with. And I would love to be able to have almost like in fact, funny enough, the other day I was like, I'm going to have a day where I'm going to leave my phone upstairs. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to put it in my bedroom. And I'm going to watch a bit of TV. I'm going to go for a walk with the Nat and the dog and the kids, and spend some time with the family, mow the lawn, do all those things, and not have any connection to anything. And then my son comes running home and he's like, why are you not answering your phone? Something really bad has happened. You need to answer your bloody telephone. Literally 20 minutes after I did that. So I have that almost like anxiety that if someone messages me, they get a message back. It might say, I'll come back to you on this a bit later on, but they'll get a message pretty much instantly, whatever platform. I was talking to Nick, someone that my boss, yesterday, and at 6:50 last night, and we're at 7:30 last night. We're having a chat about these new roles that we got yesterday. And my wife's in the other room with the kids making dinner. I just feel that maybe that, it'd be nice to be able to switch off from it occasionally.
Yeah. So then there's another element to it, which is around feeling comfortable about not feeling as if you're on the front line all the time, that you're having to field everything.
Yeah, and I think when you get to a certain point and you're a certain level in the company, I'm a director in our business, you know, we earn quite a lot of money, and with that comes responsibility. I think maybe it is that because there's other people in my business or other people that do what I do that come 5 o'clock, switch their phone off, and you don't hear from them until 10 o'clock the next morning. Whereas I just don't think I could do that.
Great. Okay. So then by the end of the time that we work together, you would like to be able to manage your priorities, to be able to have identified a realistic set of priorities and be able to delegate the parts of those that you can't, that you prefer not to manage yourself.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good, you know, I think that's probably a pretty good way of looking at it.
How does it, you know, is there anything missing from that description?
I don't think so. I think, you know, I think that's kind of key to all of it, isn't it, really? You know what I mean?
What?
I think that's the key to me being able to, and that'll probably unlock other things that I need to work on. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, I think there's plenty to work on. You know, if you get to the end of 4 sessions and you found that you found a way to manage your priorities effectively so that you feel comfortable, I think we'll have done a lot of good work.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why I wanted to do this with you, Joella, because I've never seen you in this environment in this capacity. I think that change is always uncomfortable. You know, do I feel 100% comfortable going through this stuff? Probably not, but I think the uncomfortableness comes from trying to find the answer to it, and that's why I wanted to do this initial what the question is online, because once you kind of know what you want to try to get to, then it's just realization along the way. This is probably the hardest part of this, and I think a lot of people who are watching this or will watch this don't necessarily. I found this when I was windsurf coaching, is that sometimes a group coaching was better than having one-to-one, because the one-to-one, the person didn't really know what the question was they needed to ask. You know, I'd obviously thought about this before we've come into this, and I, you know, we talk a lot, and John, obviously, I talk a lot. John Fuggles is a good friend of mine as well, and I think that, and I obviously do coaching as well. So I think what's important is everybody needs a set. You know, Donald Trump was the president of the United States. I'm pretty sure he needs to work on some things, right?
Well, 1 or 2 things, yeah.
I saw somebody yesterday in Worthing at the golf course with a MAGA hat on. Make America Great Again hat on. I kid you not.
Wow. Well, listen, we need to, I will write this outcome down. And in the meantime, one of the things I was wanting to leave you with was thinking about, well, what would your next step be so that you can arrive at the next session having done a bit more constructive thinking about this.
That's right.
So in order for us to be starting where to get most value really is to be thinking about, okay, so maybe it would be useful to come to the next session. I don't know. I mean, do you have any thoughts about what might be useful to bring to the next session to get us to hit the ground running?
I think maybe value all the things, put maybe a list of putting all the things online that that maybe right now, and actually all the things that I do during the day. So, and then looking at it and valuing it. I value a lot of things. Like I'm pretty good at writing do and don't on a piece of paper, writing a line down the middle about a subject and putting all the pros and cons and going from there. This is actually Vidya, who is fantastic, who was on our that John and I did on mental health the other day, which I think is very important, and no doubt will be on again. Love look forward to watching and seeing you develop. And great fact finding and outcome discovery, Joella. And
Thank you.
This really is live, guys. We haven't done any prep on this beforehand. This is, and I'm sure Joella's relishing making me feel uncomfortable sat in the seat here. But hopefully this give you, I do this a lot, and obviously recruitment I do, and we do it pretty well, I would say. This is recruit, but we're never too, we're always in a place for develop. So I would like to write this.
And you will come next time then with a typical list of your day.
Yeah.
And then we can talk through how that looks and where the challenges might be. And actually, you will know about the day before, so you probably have some experiences to relate back to.
You know what I find interesting about this, Joella, is since we've worked at home, I do a lot more, because you can probably tell everybody that's watching this, my office has moved. I was in the loft. And I'm now in a room downstairs. You can see my wife's couch there, because she's a beauty therapist, but she's going to run a business outside, not outside, but in a location. So I've now taken over this office, which is great. It's freer. I feel more open in here. I can feel a bit more comfortable. But I think what I like to work at home on a Monday. I like to go to work in London on Tuesday. I stay in London for Tuesday night and Wednesday night, and then I come home Wednesday evening, usually a bit earlier, so I can spend Thursday evening with the kids, and then I work at home on Friday. That lifestyle works for me. So then I wake up in London on a Tuesday morning. I have no other obligations other than work. On a Monday morning, I take my kids to school. On a Friday morning, I take the kids to school and pick them up, and so on. So my week is very different. I mean, obviously, we're going to get back to that environment, but it's become me. Last night I was in here at 8 o'clock. My wife opened the door, looked at me. One of those looks that you're like, yeah, I'm finished now, Poppet, and I'll come out and I'll spend some time with you lot. But when I'm in London, that's not necessarily, you can't do it.
I think managing your time is an issue for all of us in any circumstances. But I agree. I think working from home does require a routine that allows you to, to unwind, and you've got to separate the working and the not working in a constructive way.
So I'm going to come with a list of my day, of what I do that day. Do you want two lists? Do you want a list of what I do and a list of what I planned that I was going to do?
Well, I think we'll have your previous experience. You know all about the bits that don't work, and you'll know all about that. But it would just be useful for us to just have a practical list so that we can, and for people listening to know what that actually means.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Fantastic. So that's done then. We've done the discovery.
We've done it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Great. Perfect. Well, if you've just logged into this, guys, please go back and watch this. We're going to do a 4 series, including this, so 3 more coaching, and then after that we'll go private, Joella, so people can't see how bad it actually is. But Joella is an executive coach. She works with some fantastic CEOs, executives from all over the country, and I am going live with you guys. We've just done the discovery. We've just figured out what sort of areas that we would like to do some coaching on, or I would like to do some coaching on, and I look forward to expanding this out. It's Tuesday morning at 10:30. We started this. It's 11 o'clock now, but the idea was to do this on a Friday at 10:30.
Can I just say something, Antony? I just want to
just put your hand up.
Well, it's like saying, now what would happen here if it was a normal chemistry session is that, having identified what the outcome would be, I would then put that in writing, send it to my client, along with context explaining how this had come about, and then the investment that they would be making. And then we would have another meeting, which would be a sort of sign off where they would agree to doing it or not doing it. You need to get to a yes or no with coaching. It's very important so that people are committed. So I just wanted to put that in.
Absolutely fantastic. And like I said, Joella. I'll add the context and stuff like that just for the people that are watching that are coming in maybe late. But ultimately, this is you running this with me. I am the student, and you are. Is it Grasshopper and Kimusabi? Which either
I don't know. Coach will do.
Yeah. Coach will do. Fantastic. So that was wonderful. I think. With change is, what's the, in the face of adversity, you either change or you fall off the edge of the porch. And I'm looking forward to developing and get some great, wonderful experiences from you, Joella. So I look forward to on Friday. So this Friday is the Lord's Day, so we will not be on this Friday, but it will be the following Friday. Or did you want to do Tuesdays, Joe?
I could do that, yeah. I might just have to check my diary and see I haven't got anything booked. But I can do next.
This is how good this is. We're even live checking our diaries.
Yeah. Well, I do have an appointment, but I think that's probably shiftable. But I can't say at this moment.
So are you saying that I'm less important or more?
Well, he did get in my diary first.
Okay, just in case he's watching.
What can I say? I can ask him if he's prepared to shift, and I suspect he probably will be.
Perfect. So we'll say 10:30 on Tuesdays, guys. It is half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever I get told that we do. But ultimately, appreciate you guys watching today. It's been 30 minutes. It is the 30th, Tuesday, the 30th of March. Is Antony Baker and Joella. Talk to me.
Buckshall.
Was that good or not?
That was great. Yeah. Enjoyed it.
Yeah. Was I the best person you've ever been in this situation?
Everybody's different, and you're all wonderfully interesting, which is why I do this job. If I wasn't fascinated by what it is that makes people tick, I might be bored, but hey, I'm never bored.
Marvellous. Well, everybody love this Tuesday. It is a beautiful day. I'm not sure it's going to be as warm over the next few days, but it should stay sunny for a bit.